Good morning, everybody. Today I am here with someone who actually reached out to me for a tabling event, and we brought them over to a tabling event, and it actually turned out a lot nicer than I thought. Instead of getting yelled at, people were actually agreeing with me and wanting to sign up so that they could be leaders behind the table. Now, I don't get that often. It was very rewarding to have someone that I never expected to reach out to me. And today we are here doing a very different video than I usually do. Today we're going to be talking about more federal instances, government. We're going to be talking about ICE, Iran, DC, Chicago, all sorts of topics we're going to be getting through. But I just wanted to introduce this gentleman. He's actually a patriot, someone who is actually planning on going to the military. And now, if you know me or watched any of my videos, I've said before, I respect anyone who does that. I myself cannot do that. I couldn't handle that. If I don't have my cup of coffee every single day, my 4, 5, 7 cups of coffees a day, I will not be able to live. So this is a patriot. So I'm going to be introducing Tyler Matos. We went to high school together, and now there's rumors that say when you leave high school, you never talk to anybody. Those are all true, except for this one instance that is still bashing my mind today. So Tyler Matos, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to list all the topics that we're going to be going through really quickly. We're going to be talking about the drop of illegal immigration since the start of the Trump administration. We're going to be talking about the inauguration of Zohran Mamdani. We're going to be talking about Iran and the rise of the youth in Iran against the Islamic Republic. We're going to be talking about Nicolas Madero, which is really interesting. It's so funny too, by the way. We're going to be talking about the 2025-2026 National Guard that's been deployed to numerous large cities in America. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about the government shutdown, the historical one that just happened, and a potential one in the future. So we're going to be discussing all of those. Now, keep in mind, we are not any scholars. We're not government officials. We are two young men who care a lot about the country and state and city. So I think the first one we'll go to is actually the illegal immigration dropping 94% since the start of the Trump administration, since ICE has been targeted and attacked for deporting criminal immigrants. So this is one of the major things that Trump ran on for the 2025 election. And he kept his promise, because promises made were promises kept, according to the Trump administration. And it has proved very, very valuable. So Tyler, what do you think about the illegal immigration dropping around 94%, maybe more?
Yeah, well, I think he's doing a great job. That's personally what I think he should be doing. I don't think anybody should be in the country illegally. There are right ways to come into the country, and I have it written here, over 600,000 illegals in 2025 were deported. But I think the craziest thing was 1.6 million people self-deported. Said, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go back to my country. And they left. So I thought that was pretty crazy. One thing that I do want to touch on is assaults against ICE officers have jumped 1,000% in the U.S. So that's pretty terrible.
1,000% is
1,000%. So what do you think about that? 1,000%?
Honestly, for people who assault federal agents, I think, now I'm more brutal with punishments, but they should all be in prison, not jail, in prison, because that's assault on a federal officer, no matter what.
Exactly.
They're so emotional. That still boggles my mind how emotional that the left side is. Now, there is a far right, and it could get dangerous because they're more guns and blazing. But the far left is just, honestly, I think, pure demonic spirits that are controlling these people with blue hair and red hair and all that stuff. So that's actually unbelievable. Is there anything else that you've seen recently that you think should be addressed on targeting and attacking ICE agents? What about that instance that where the ICE officer shot the lady in the car trying to get away?
Yeah, so actually at first, I'm one of the people that didn't just automatically look at it and go, oh, it was definitely like shouldn't have happened, whatever. And when she reversed her car He was on the side of the car. When she reversed her car, she put her car so that it was facing directly in front of him, and then decided to drive. And if you rewatch the video, you can even see her tires spin on the ice a little bit, and she goes straight at him. And at first, I thought that he didn't get hit at all. I thought that he shot through the side of the window, and maybe what he did was wrong. But once he released the footage that he took, and you clearly see him getting hit, yeah, I think that speaks for itself. So I personally believe that she shouldn't have died. I don't think anyone should die. Definitely not for what she was doing, even though it was wrong. But you mess around, you find out. So,
Ooh, Fafo. The Trump administration is really good at that one. The only thing is that why would she even continue, rage it on? Why would she just push the gas to go forward when there's an ICE officer right in front of the car? It's like they were asking for trouble. It's like those people who ask for trouble, they know they're looking for trouble, and they definitely find trouble. And now everything's a mess. So with that being said, we're going to go on to our next topic, which is the following. Since the inauguration of Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the cost of bus rides has risen. The need for financial support has risen, and Islam is running rampant. He was also inaugurated on the Quran and not the Bible. How soon until Sharia law? Now, I'll go to you obviously, but that was the most disappointing thing that I found out is when I saw the inauguration. I thought, okay, cool, good for him. But then when I heard that it was on the Quran and not the Bible, well, the Quran is very different from the Bible, very different set of rules, and it's not the type of rules that creates a country like the U.S. It would create a country like Iran, Iraq, all those places, Syria, Somalia. That is what that book will create. And to do that in the financial capital of the world, I think will be devastating in the future. I think we will see stuff like Sharia law, which gratefully the Florida governor and the Texas governor have banned. But I think we will see that in the financial capital of the world, which is New York City. So, Tyler, what are your thoughts on that part?
Yeah, I personally don't believe in what he believes, which is a socialist. He is a socialist. That never works ever. And it's been proven many, many, many times. And yet people still voted for him, which I have no idea why. End quote, he said, I want city-owned grocery stores with lower prices. No, that will never work. You can't have city-owned grocery stores with lower prices. It doesn't make any sense. And it's been shown to fail every single time. It just doesn't make any sense. So, for example, people said that the best thing to do is tax the rich. And it's something he also said that he was going to do multiple times, in which he's still hasn't done anything yet. An economist named Art Laffer, which he made the Laffer curve, which you can look up. This basically shows that taxing the rich does absolutely nothing. So I did a lot of research on this last night. Pretty much what it means is if taxes are too high, people will work less, invest less, or try to avoid taxes and all. They could even just simply leave the city. And if taxes are too low, the government doesn't collect enough revenue. So taxing the rich doesn't always work the way that you think it will. They can just leave. They can avoid taxes completely. And taxing the rich just never works. And that's something that he was a huge believer on. And of course, all the Democrats, are also a huge believer on that, which it doesn't ever really work. What do you think about that? Taxing the rich?
I still don't, because the logic isn't right. You say tax the rich. Maybe it sounds good when you first say it. You're like, oh, yeah, great. Yeah, they make a lot of money. Yeah, but at the same time, they're making the money not from like stealing the money. It's all capitalism. Okay, what does the capitalism do? It rewards people who do the most. The more money you gain from capitalism, that means you've done the most, right? Elon Musk makes significant amount of money, and he's running multi-billion-dollar companies, multiple of them too. And it's like unbelievable. He does so much, and he gets paid accordingly from it because of capitalism. Now, all these millionaires, all these rich people that they're talking about, they're all making money legitly. legally. Capitalism. How? They're creating jobs and they're providing a lot of resources for the people, right? Because say a grocery store, whoever owns all those the grocery stores are getting quite a bit of money. Why? Because they're offering that service, offering that product to the people. It's rewarding them because of their service, because of what they're offering. Now when you say tax the rich, yeah, you're right. The rich could just leave New York. I heard many billionaires left New York. Now maybe some statistics might be iffy about that. Some AI was hesitating to tell me, but you hear from other rich people that are in other states. A lot of them are leaving New York. The financial capital of the world has the most millionaires or billionaires, either one, in New York. They're going to be leaving if they're going to be attacked, right? The apartment building owners, they're going to be leaving and not caring about those apartment buildings if they're going to be attacked, which Zohran Mamdani is currently doing, attacking the apartment buildings. So when you tax the rich will just transfer that over to their services. And guess what? All their services, all of their products increase in price. Not value, but they increase in price. And that causes inflation for every single citizen. And then guess what? They're going to start blaming the rich more rather than the faulty leadership, the faulty government, the faulty policies. So it's all the thing is, Mamdani didn't lie to you. He told you exactly what he's going to be doing. But because of the lack of understanding from the citizens, they're going to be accepting that, and they are going to be the ones suffering. Financial capital of the world is the most expensive place to live now. So, was there any other things you wanted to hit on that, Zohran Mamdani? I mean, Sharia law is going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's one quote that he said that I want to read out loud. I want to hear your opinion on this. This is personally the quote that I heard. Like when I heard this, I was like, no way. Like there's no way that this is real. He said, starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord refuses to fix it, the city's going to step in, make the repairs, send them the bill. If it doesn't work, the city's going to take over the building. What do you think about that?
Well, that can't be legal, honestly. I don't think that can be legal. If it is, that is very, very sad. And Trump should honestly step in at that point because that's a very important city. That New York is a very important city. And oh my goodness. So not even your own private property is safe. It's starting to sound a lot like communism too at the same time.
Yeah.
Socialism and communism, along with Sharia law in the Islamic Republic. That is going to be unbelievable, devastating. Or just bomb the entire place, honestly. But
oh my goodness.
Let's not do that, actually. But no, if I owned all those multifamily properties, I would leave because they're going to be a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, what if these people can't even afford that?
Yeah, exactly. What if you're a landlord and they send you this bill and now it's like triple, doubled, and you're like, I can't even pay for this anymore. And they're like, okay, then we're taking it from you.
Not only just the fees from the actual repair, I bet they're going to add on another fee, being like, a little tip, you're going to need to extra interest. Oh, yeah, all that.
You know why they'll add in all that stuff? Because he needs money. He's sitting there begging people for money for you to donate to him. And you know what's crazier is people do it. Why are people donating money to this man? I really don't understand that at all. All the videos of him saying like, we're so close, please just donate us a little bit more money. I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole New York situation that's going on.
Honestly, what a great business model, though. He's making money. I mean, what a great business model.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking advantage and ruining a very important city in the United States and probably devastating the religious part of that region. But he's making some money, at least. I mean, he's going to be needing to make a lot more because he is not going to be able to last financially on the way he's running things. New York is all capitalism. If you try to replace it and add in socialism, it's all going to crumble. And it's not going to last very long. Now, hopefully, the Trump administration does step in to help to do something. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's some loophole that they're checking out to completely kick him out of the mayoral position. But I guess we'll see where that goes. Yeah. But is there anything left you'd like to add on to that?
I had one other thing in here, and it was pretty much just talking about how he wanted to freeze the rent. for people, which so I was also doing research yesterday. He can't even do that. It's impossible. A mayor can't do that. It's because the rent laws are run by the state. They're not even run by the city. So he can't just freeze the rent in New York City. It doesn't make any sense. Everything's run by the state. So apparently you have to get Albany to pass the law. You are not allowed to just freeze the rent. So that will never happen. That's something he kept promising. It will never happen. Yeah, and then, I mean, also buses. It's the same thing. You can't just make buses free. There's no way to do that. Everything's run by the state, and he is not going to be able to fix that.
There's actually some videos of folks going up to the bus drivers, asking them what they think, and them saying that's a ridiculous idea. That's not going to work.
Never happened.
But you know what? Also, touching onto that the state can do it. What we might not be looking at is that maybe the state is also in Zohran's pocket. Why would anyone? Well, maybe they're all ignorant, but why would anyone vote for him if they understand how economics work? So that still boggles my mind. But one thing I am grateful for is that it's not Florida's problem; it's New York's problem. Now it's going to really suck. Hopefully there is no impact to the rest of the country, since that is the financial capital. When logic leaves the area, economics leaves the area, religious understanding leaves the area, all these wisdom points that someone needs to make valuable decisions and good decisions are all gone from that area. That's why those people ignorantly voted for Mamdani. But maybe it was his smile that people were attracted to. So
maybe it was that he was a rapper too.
He was a rapper?
You don't know
I
that?
had no idea.
He's a failed rapper. He used to be a rapper.
Mamdani the rapper? That would be a cool name.
You know, there's actually some quotes in his raps that are like absolutely disgusting. Have you ever heard them? I don't know them off the top of my head, but they're pretty bad. You should look it up after this.
Dang.
They're pretty bad.
I had no idea.
You wouldn't even believe it. I don't know. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I had no idea he was a rapper.
Yeah, he was a rapper.
But I mean, touching on the Sharia law and the Islamic Republic, this one's going to be an interesting one. Good for the youth, though. Good for the people who are rising up. Meanwhile, what's going on here? Iran has seen a significant uprising against the Islamic Republic since the beginning. Over 2,000 protesters have been killed and tens of thousands of protesters have been detained. The protesters are fighting against the current regime to take back the true country of Iran before the takeover. The Trump administration is in full support of the protesters, and the Trump administration also encourages the protesters to keep going. I think it's because they also understand how devastating the Islamic Republic really is since the 79 revolution, and that was not a good one. So do you have any thoughts on the uprisings?
Nothing crazy. I guess the main topic that I want to say is obviously them killing all the protesters. It's pretty crazy. If they weren't killing all the protesters and they were just kind of letting them do their thing, that's a whole nother topic. Like, that would change everything completely. But once they start killing protesters, I mean, that changes everything. I mean, how many have they killed now? I think it was like 12,000.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of people. And then not even counting the tens of thousands of them who have been arrested. And you can completely understand where they're coming from. I mean, their country's literally getting ruined. I have here because, I mean, inflation, employment, rising prices. The currency is at zero now. They don't even have currency now. Ooh. A full blackout. They have no internet. They have nothing. Like, it's a full blackout there. Nothing's going on.
Gosh.
Yeah.
No way to play like Fortnite or nothing like that. That's unbelievable.
No Fortnite.
You know, but I'm really glad that they're uprising. Why? Because the surgence of the youth going to Christ, going to Jesus, understanding, being Christian, converting from Islam is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. How disgusting the religion of Islam really is. Nobody really understands. What kind of gets me is that people call them Muslim extremists or Islamic extremists. They're not extremists. They're faithful Muslims because that's what they're called to do. And nobody really understands that. What happened in Bondi Beach, now this isn't a part of the topic, but what happened in Bondi Beach, the terrorist attack, father and son killing a bunch of people who were at a Jewish get-together, whatever their tradition is. But that was the terrorist attack. There were two Muslims. They're two Muslims. It's no coincidence. That's what they're called to do. The Quran calls them to inflict violence on people who don't follow what they believe, who don't follow their rules, who like, again, simply just don't believe what they believe. It calls them to inflict violence and to be glad to do so. So they're actually a bunch of murderers. Now, I'm a little bit more brutal on it because of my ministry side, but they are not extremists. They are faithful Muslims. It's simple as that. Faithful Muslims. You cannot separate the two. Why? Because if you call them extremists, then you let out all this vulnerability for all the other Muslims to go in. Newsflash, the Quran also calls them to fake being other religions, fake being other personalities, other characters, so that they could get in and then transfer back to their true self to continue to inflict violence. It allows them to do that. And there's a word that I'll put up right here, but it allows them to do that. They're not extremists, they're faithful Muslims doing what they're told by their religion. It's a religion made by a man for a man. It just, if you read it, you'll understand. But that's what the youth is rising against. Also, the economic hardship definitely takes a toll on their reason. I'm sure a lot of them are still Muslims, but Sharia law doesn't work. It doesn't work for very long. You could tell. Iran, Iraq, Somalia, devastating country that is, and all sorts of other countries Pakistan, India, it doesn't work. Sharia law is something that the United States should actually repel rather than tolerate. Texas is doing well. Florida is doing well. New York is struggling heavily. Minnesota is struggling heavily. But we do not want, when Sharia law comes, if Sharia law ever comes and takes some territory within the United States, we will genuinely, I'm calling this out, we would genuinely see a rise in gangs. American gangs, like mafia, all that other stuff, gangs getting together to attack. Next thing you know, we have turf wars. And it's not going to be good. Muslims against Americans, it could get bloody. Why? Because I'd rather not have a daughter that's being born in an area where Muslims are. Why? Because I'd prefer her to maintain her innocence for a while. And Muslims don't really look at that. I might get some attack on that part, but very true, very, very true.
I don't know anything about like what's in the Quran, but if everything that you're saying, which sounds like it's true, I cannot believe Mamdani would swear on that in New York.
Yeah.
Which, another thing that I want to say real quick, the Bible, whether you believe it or not, is a huge foundation under the U.S. I mean, if you look at the license plates, if you look at your dollar bills, it's a huge foundation. So to be the mayor of one of the biggest cities in America and then not swear on the Bible, that says a lot about the person.
That really does.
Even if you're not like a strong believer, it's still like you still have to. It doesn't matter. You don't swear on the Quran, especially if everything you're saying is true. Because I'm not like super religious. I'm not that educated on what's in there. But yeah, that's just terrible. I feel terrible for New York. But then again, they voted for him. So
honestly,
they voted for him.
Fapo, they're gonna find out really, really soon. Mamdani is already going broke. He already needs a lot more money. It was really funny. The video that he posted right after he was elected, saying, "Hey, when I told you you could stop donating to us? Well, you could start again." I was just, oh, great. It's already started. But while America isn't designated or official as a Christian country, it was founded on Christian values, Protestant values. And when you take away that, the entire system is faulty. Why? Because when you remove the foundation, the entire building can collapse. And that's what we're going to be seeing. Well, that's what we're already seeing. I mean, the past 4 years was devastating for just the values of America. When you take away those that foundation of Christian values, everything else seems to not work. Everything else seems to be contradiction to the founding of America. And obviously, we're going to see that. Obviously, the points are going to be made. So it's just yikes.
Something else I want to touch on about what happened with the Muslim shootings. Well, how many people died? Do you know from that on the beach?
Around 15, 12 to 15 people.
So another thing that I want to touch on, they have a law so that you cannot have guns, right? You can't own guns at all. Now, I'm a firm believer and you need to be able to own guns to protect yourself. And for everyone that sits there and says, well, no, I don't believe in that. Gun causes violence. I don't want that. Well, if you take away guns, are you really telling me that all these bad people you think they're not going to be able to still get their hands on guns? I mean, drugs are illegal. Bad people still do drugs. Yeah. You know, you're not going to take away guns from bad people. So why not leave guns legally and let people have them to protect themselves? Because maybe if someone had a firearm in their car or something, they could have killed these two guys who were shooting everyone, and maybe there would have been less deaths. And that's a whole another topic.
So much for the Islamic Republic uprising, but no, absolutely. The Second Amendment and the First Amendment is what's keeping America safe. When you take away the people's ability to defend themselves and their government, then it's just a travesty. In Australia, you're not allowed guns. You're barely allowed knives, and they're very strict about those weapons. You could see in London, no guns. Well, they'll just take out knives and stab people for a watch. It's not going to work. When you take away the people's ability to defend themselves, that gives the attackers an edge on attacking, and that is what we want to prevent. Now, yes, there's a lot of things like school shootings, blah 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 blah. Florida's an open carry state. Georgia's an open carry state. North Carolina's an open carry state. I want to say Kentucky and Tennessee are also open carry states. Safe states. Safe states. You think an attacker is going to come up and start attacking if he sees that there's a bunch of people with guns? No. The attacker will be shot in the head instantly. There's no way. But I think that is what's protecting American Christians from the faithful Muslims is that. Because let me tell you, if a father finds out that his daughter was raped by, say, an illegal immigrant, there are a lot of Muslim illegal immigrants, by the way, by one of those people, no matter what, that father is going to have that fire, that drive to inflict violence and get revenge. No matter what. It's natural. You're going to want to do that. It's an unbelievable rage that hopefully I will never experience. Hopefully no one ever experiences. But it's just a cause for more violence. Now, if those people should never be allowed to actually be in that position to where they inflict violence, rape people, the border should never have been open. But that's a completely different story. But Second Amendment, First Amendment, very important to maintain and keep, no matter what. That is our safe line.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to this. A really interesting one. I'm so proud of the U.S. Army. The capture of Nicolas Madero, which is the president of Venezuela. Within 3 hours, Nicolas Madero was captured by an elite army force. Since the capture, many protests have risen against the administration, the Trump administration, claiming it's imperialistic. Was the capture of Madero the right thing to do for the Trump administration? Tyler, what do you think on that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on. You're seeing them all like protest in a good way, standing there, waving their flags. They're all happy, and yet why is the left is still hating? You know, their own country is happy. Why is ours like so unhappy? They're protesting on the streets right now. And they're saying, free Madero, free Madero. I mean, weren't you just protesting no kings, like not too long ago? Maduro's a dictator, and then you call Trump a dictator. So you hate on Trump, but then you love Madero. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I personally think what we did was a great thing. I mean, we got a huge benefit out of it with $500 million worth of oil,
Ooh, yeah.
which is pretty crazy. And for everyone saying that he only did it for the oil, I highly doubt that that's true. But I mean, you have to understand, at least it was a win-win. It wasn't like a win-lose or anything. It was a win-win. Venezuela's happy. We're happy. I mean, it took 3 hours and not a single U.S. soldier died.
Yep. No
Wow.
equipment left behind either.
Wow. That's
Very
crazy. That just shows how strong our military is.
It was actually very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Because instantly, now when I saw the bombs, when videos of the bombs dropping, I was like, ooh, that's a little bit much, don't you think?
Yeah.
But no, because now, guess what? And a lot of the left are upset, saying, well, why didn't you take out the entire dictator regime of the entire government, all the officials who are causing problems? Well, I'll say this. When you take out the head, the arms, the legs, the feet, the fingers, the toes, none of that knows what to do without the head, which holds the brain, right? So when you take out the main guy, the top dog, then everything else starts to crumble. Who knows? Maybe they'll go against each other and take each other down. Who's going to be the next leader? Blah, 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 blah. By the way, ask any Hispanic who's not whitewashed by the left, and they will tell you Nicolas Madero rigged that entire thing, just like what happens in Mexico. Now, that's also another story. But all of the good people who are actually running to run the government either get murdered or put in prison. And that's what happened in Venezuela. A lot of the good people were put in prison, and Madero is known as the head of the entire cartel in Venezuela. So taking him out was actually a major service for the Venezuelan people. We're liberating them. We're taking them away. No, we're taking the dictatorship away from the people. They need to live. Venezuela isn't doing good, by the way. Cartels running rampant, by the way, if you know anything about Venezuela, not just that Trump took the president. He's not a legit president. He rigged the election. He also put all of his competitors into prison. He is the leader of the Venezuelan cartel. Also, one of the major things is, Tyler, you mentioned the oil. China wants that too. Russia wants that too. Venezuela sells their oil to Russia. Guess what? This is a nice, really good edge to suffocate Russia within the Ukraine-Russia war. But the left wouldn't understand that because their lack of thinking is kind of completely gone.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't know the little edges, you know. I mean, Trump wrote the art of the deal. He's gonna do it really well. Yeah. And he's gonna suffocate Russia. China's already upset because China had a lot of influence on Venezuela. So that's why China is going against the Trump administration, saying this is imperialistic, saying they should never do this, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's because they want that. Venezuela is a resource, and I guess it could be more imperialistic if we took that resource rather than taking it and saving the people. Trump is saving the people of Venezuela from the dictatorship, not regular dictatorship, a cartel dictatorship. If you know what goes on in Mexico, imagine Venezuela, but they're actually 100% in control of the government. So I think this is actually really good. Props to the army men, dude. I wish I could see their body cams.
I saw so many videos of Trump announcing that he was going to go do this operation, and everyone who was on the left was, they're not going to be able to get it done. They're not going to be able to get it done. So not only did they get it done, but they got it done in 3 hours. Yeah, that's a whole nother. I mean, that's insane.
It is actually really cool. We have to do a deep dive on that part, but that is amazing. And Trump actually said that some of the videos we might not ever see because of how clandestine they are. But at the same time, before, Nicolas Madero was openly and publicly saying, "Come and get me, you cowards."
He was invited.
Oh, yeah.
He was invited. He was basically, Trump was invited to the country. He wasn't just march in and take him. I mean, he did get invited. He said, "Come get me, you coward."
Trump's a man of his word. Yeah. Come on. Now, that is, the memes that came about from that was so funny. Yeah. Oh my, if I find a meme, I'll put up a meme, but it is so cool. I'm really, this is the government, the bold government that we need. Not
Yeah.
everyone can run the United States of America, especially if you're not as cold as Trump. He is cold, very cold. Before, when he was running, he was very animated. He was very emotional. He was very out there, connecting. Now he's in. He is a cold stone. Well, not killing because he didn't kill nobody, which is really awesome. But he is a machine. I want. He doesn't get sleep. There's no way he could sleep. I would struggle. I need more sleep than what he's getting.
Yeah, and that's another thing that people pick at. They pick at the fact that he looks drained, he looks tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is probably living off of maybe an hour of sleep.
No.
Like I don't even know, maybe less. He might get like little naps, like little 20-minute naps throughout the day.
No,
but no, he's busy. I mean, you can't look at him and say, "Oh, he looks so drained and tired. He shouldn't be allowed to be president." Like, come on, maybe it's because Joe Biden was sleeping so
he got
much.
a lot of sleep.
He got a lot of sleep. Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, he'd go to like those conferences and just fall asleep in the chair.
Oh yeah.
And no one talked about that.
No one
talked about his health. But as soon as they look at Trump and they see him even look slightly tired, they'll be like, "Oh, something's wrong with his health."
No, I'd be very tired.
Yeah.
It's something else to be the president of the United States, because while it's night and sleep time here in America, it is bright and bushy tail over there on the other side of the world. China, hello, your competitors, Russia. You have to be awake. You have to be alert. You need to always be ready to take care of anything. Kind of like those people who are in like this secret job where at any moment, if they get the call to, they turn the key and it unlocks the entire nuclear warheads in America. It's like that odd thing. But that's kind of like Trump. He always must be alert for that phone call, that text, that anything. For who knows, maybe Marco Rubio or JD Vance to come over and say, we have a problem. Boom, they need to be at it. He is very, very cold. Amazing. That's the kind of president that we need. And that's the one that we have. Oh my goodness. Another 4 years? What? No, that's not legal. But we'll see.
I don't think he should.
I don't think he
should.
Yeah, because also that's a lasting tradition. It should not be broken. But I'm really curious of the 2028 election. JD Vance or Marco Rubio. That's what I'm calling. Those two will be. Now Marco is he's a little like, I don't want to, I'm not going to. He really should. But we'll see about that. That's going to be a really good video, to be honest.
Something to talk about on the Venezuela thing. Just like a fun fact that I learned last night. Did you know that their inflation while he was president, Madero, while he was president, went up 1,000,000%?
Oh, that's a lot of percent.
1,000,000%. And did you know over I think it was 3 million to 4 million, I think, left the country while he was president?
Yes.
Like everyone left.
A mass migration.
Yeah.
And that devastates an economy. A migration like that, what was it, 4 million or 8 million?
I don't know. Maybe it was more. I don't know. I was doing research and all that said was millions of people left.
It might have been 4 million, but when I was looking at it, it was like if another 4 million left, it would be devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, that many people leaving, devastating an economy. It's not sustainable. And if another 4 million left, Venezuela would not be in a good position. Also, to manage because now the United States is managing that country until they get someone else. They can't get someone else right now. It's going to take some time. Why? Because if they announce someone else, guess what? The cartel could still kill them. And that's not going to be good. Also, the Maduro's competitors previously were now released from prison, so the country's being liberated. Also, it's very important to make sure that country is in the right place. Why? Because it is on the edge of South America, which is on the water. Very good for naval fleets, very good for ports, and it's a direct access to the entire South American region, which is going to be really valuable for America to control. This side of the world has to be controlled correctly. It has to be in the right place, far from any cartels, far from communists, socialism. We'll see about New York, but socialism, all that stuff. This side of the world needs to be in the right place, because we have the other side of the world that we are kind of trying to fending off China, Russia, and all those us that are out there. But I'm really curious to see who the new Venezuelan leader will be once the administration thinks it's the right time to put him in.
Yeah, I wonder
That'd
if
be really good.
another thought that I had was I wonder if all those people come back. I wonder if they just start getting like overpopulated because all these millions of people come back just like out of nowhere because he's gone. Which, I mean, that could help them, I guess. I guess we'll just see what happens.
I actually don't think that they will come back.
You don't?
Because assuming where they went to, if they went to America, I don't think they would leave.
No, if they came to America, they're staying. But if they went to some other country, there could be a chance that they would.
Honestly, because back. The other countries, that'd be interesting because the other countries might not be as favorable as Venezuela, especially the long term now that Madero is taken out. Long term, it could be really valuable. It might be really good if they went back and they started to support and build up the country again. In 2025, 2026, the federal government deployed the National Guard to Washington, D.C. to support the public safety and help manage crime-related issues. Plans to send guard troops to Chicago and some California cities were proposed, but legal challenges and pushback from local officials limited or blocked most of these deployments. As a result, only a smaller number of troops remained were legally authorized. While others were pulled back, the situation highlighted ongoing tensions between federal authority and local control over law enforcement actions aimed at reducing crime. Was it constitutional for Trump to send the National Guard into these major cities? What do you think, Tyler?
Yes. I mean, I feel like it was completely needed. Did you say unconstitutional or constitutional?
Was it constitutional?
Okay. Yes. It 100% needed to happen. I mean, if you look at California, mainly LA, I mean, it's pretty bad. Like the homeless, everything, all the riots that happened, which I believe happened in June. That was pretty devastating. I mean, there was literally people on top of bridges throwing bricks at police cars. They were robbing stores. They were burning American flags. And the thing that made me the most angry is you're coming into the country illegally, and then you're waving around a flag of a country that you don't want to go back to. Make that make sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. Why are you waving around a flag of a country that you don't even want to be in? If you want to be in that country so bad, then just leave. Don't destroy America. So to go to LA and then riot and rob stores, destroy businesses, I mean, this is terrible. It's terrible. And the fact that people were in support of this, and then Governor Newsom was in support of this and said, let the people speak, let the people riot, let the people... No, absolutely not. That's so wrong. And it needed to be done. And the fact that they were fighting Trump off is insane.
Yeah, that's not the First Amendment. First Amendment is your freedom to speak out. That was their freedom to attack buildings and steal and rob and pillage. It's not good. It should not happen. I mean, the National Guard's job is to maintain law and order when the local law enforcement, the county law enforcement aren't able to do so. Now, if it had to be sent in from the federal government because the state government's lack of attention to the matter is too much, then that is devastating, honestly, for the state. But it tells you that their leadership is not good. It's not good leadership. They need to replace it. Now, how do you tell if leadership is good? Well, obviously, their intentions, their story, their history, their background. You need to know. Also, by the way, devil doesn't lie to you. They tell you what they're going to do. Mamdani told you what they're going to do. Newsom lies a lot, but Newsom is showing you what he's doing. Hello, the fires and no water, they're on the ocean, right next to the ocean. Honestly, run a water hose. There's no excuses. And by the way, the way he crosses his legs is a little bit questionable. I will say that. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's very, very questionable. I think it's 100% constitutional sending in the National Guard to these cities, especially D.C. The capital of the free world has to be the safest place on this side of the world. And it wasn't. And honestly, I went to D.C. maybe like 4 years ago. And it looked okay. There was a lot of police around there, but I think that was like the last time. It was around, what was it, COVID maybe? It was still, so it was but it did not feel safe. There were a lot of homeless, a lot of, it was not good. Also was there at the time of a protest. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand none of that, but it was really interesting. But it has to be the safest place in this country and in this side of the world, especially Chicago, California. They have to be safe places because they are major cities. Chicago, major. California, it has the most potential to be the greatest state in this country. It genuinely does. Passing New York, California has so much history, but it is going down under because of the leadership. Leadership is so important. It matters almost more than anything else. With right leadership, you can make anything flourish. With wrong leadership, even a flourishing economy could go down under. So leadership is very important. And federally, we have good leadership. State-wise, depending on what state you go to.
Yeah. I actually went to Washington around 5 years ago, and same as what you said, it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't good. It was okay. Definitely felt a little unsafe if you were to walk in the city at night. But yeah, I mean, when he started cleaning up the streets, which he should have done, it isn't unconstitutional at all. It actually, I felt a difference when I was there, because I was actually there recently, a few months ago, and it felt different from when I was there the first time. Now, things still needed to be done, because when I was there, he had just done it, and the cleanup was happening as I was there. I'm curious to see what it looked like after it was all cleaned up. But I saw a difference. It was definitely much, much cleaner, much better. He got the homeless completely off the street. I believe he said that they had to go in a homeless shelter, and if not, they would have been arrested. And yeah, honestly, of course, it's the capital. I mean, of any place that you'd want to clean up in the U.S., it should be the capital. Should be Washington, D.C. Or the major cities like L.A., which he did. He sent the National Guard there, like Chicago, all the big cities. So
actually, on that same point, I want to say it was like a Chinese official that went to, either Chinese or Japanese official that went to California, and Newsom cleaned up the entire area just for that arrival of the official. And the people were very upset, saying that you'd clean up for a foreign official rather than the Californian citizens.
Exactly.
And also, what's interesting is that there is a poop tracker, a public feces tracker, feces found on the streets of California, and it is very populated. Let me tell you that, very, very populated, and it's affecting the surrounding areas. Oh, Las Vegas is unbelievable. You'll see some dudes taking it in a bucket. That's very bad. But no, it's now a mockery. California is now a mockery. There's a lot of people that move to Florida from California because of the rising prices. California is a beautiful area until the leadership starts to mess around with it, and then it just horrible.
I mean, you can't blame them. $5 for gas is really expensive. And I mean, looking at our gas prices here in Florida, I mean, it was just at $2.60. And I remember all the people in high school, when we were still in high school, they were all saying, when Trump gets elected, just wait. The gas prices, they won't change. They will not change. Because at the time, it was like 3 something.
Yeah.
Like 320, 330, maybe even higher than that. And now it's almost $1 less. Now it's $2.60. I think right now it's at $2.80. But still, I mean, it's dropping, and it's exactly what he said he was going to do, and he did it.
Yes, but notice at the same time, there were a lot of people saying gas prices hasn't changed. But then you look at the state that they're making that video from, and it's all blue states.
California.
All of them. Yeah. Yep. All blue states. Of course the gas prices haven't gone down because you guys are dead broke. It can't. It really can't. Yeah. The federal government can really help the states that are willing. States have a lot of power. And I think when a state government doesn't understand that, then they're just passive, letting things happen, don't really care much, making sure nothing changes, blah blah blah, or making things worse. as you see, Ron DeSantis with Florida, he knows what he can and can't do. He was actually a Harvard law student, and he is doing really good for the state of Florida. And even when I went to Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina, and even in Georgia, all their gas prices were not 260, they were much less. When I was in North Carolina, gas prices were like 230 in some areas, Kentucky 230. I was so happy. I'm like, well, I'm gonna save 20 cents. But it's really good when you have great leaders. It's all leadership. When you really think about it, it's unbelievable how much leadership actually takes a toll. With the right leaders, the right policies we put into place, and with the right leaders understanding how things work, they won't just sell you emotions, but they'll sell you true understanding. And that understanding is what we need for a complex system. But yeah, goodness, very constitutional for the National Guard to go in. Mm-hmm. We need the country to be safe. We don't want it to be like Venezuela or Iran. Can't have that.
No.
Especially against, I'm really hoping Trump focuses a lot. Now, J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio are really big on religion. I'm really hoping that they continue to encourage to maintain the rise of the Islamic regime here in America. But that is very important. I'll also continue fighting for that. On tabling events, they walked up to the table, they just gave me a smirk and they leave. Come and debate me.
There was one last time. Mm-hmm. Someone walked up, looked at the paper that we had where it was comparing Muhammad to Jesus, and he looked at the paper and he was like, walked off. I remember. Good. Yeah, I remember looking at him and being like, "Come over here.
Yeah,
you should come over here."
I wish it would have been good. Yeah. It would have been good.
Very disgusted look when you looked at that paper.
I had my bodyguard, so I was very capable. But unless there's anything else, we can move on to the final topic. I think it's a really important topic because it has prevented the administration from benefiting the country even more. And if it happens again, it could be very devastating. Good thing for the tariffs, though. While there is the shakiness with prices because of tariffs, I mean, it is a very, very good strategic move.
The long term is amazing.
It is long term. Yeah. Everyone looks at short term, but bad short term could result in very good long term. Really good short term could result in very bad long term.
Exactly.
It's very important how you look at it and what the intentions are. Long term, very good, because Trump's not going to be here for very long. And who knows the priorities, whether it's Marco or JD, will have. So it's very important to keep all of this long term. By the way, the tariffs helped significantly with the last government shutdown, which was the historical government shutdown. They were able to fund a lot. When you're not paying your military, when you're not paying the military, do you think they will be willing to fight for you? Come on. There's a lot of patriots, but they need to be paid. They have lives. They have bills. They have all these things. They're human beings, right?
Like me personally, I'm going in the military, and if there's a government shutdown, I feel like it's going to make me. I mean, I know that they give back pay. So when the government opens up, they give back pay. But while you're not getting paid, it kind of just makes you feel like you're just doing a whole bunch of work for free. It makes people in their mindset like, I kind of don't really want to do this work that I need to do. Obviously, they get it done because you'll get arrested if you don't show up to work in the military. But
or leave, right? So but hopefully it doesn't happen again. But let's read this story and see. The 2025 to also 2025 U.S. federal government shutdown began on October 1st, 2025, after Congress failed to pass the annual appropriations bill needed to fund the government for fiscal year 2026. Lawmakers from both parties disagreed on spending levels and key issues such as healthcare subsidies. So funding lapsed and many government operations were paused. It became the longest shutdown in U.S. history, lasting 43 days, with roughly 900,000 federal employees furloughed and millions more working without pay while essential services continued. The shutdown ended on November 12, 2025, when Congress passed the funding bill that the president signed into law to reopen the government. there are talks and active negotiations in Congress about funding because another shutdown is possible if they don't pass new spending legislation before the January 30th deadline. At the same time, key leaders are publicly trying to avert a shutdown and express optimism that it won't happen. Now, continue to spread that optimism. We don't want the people freaking out. This is going to be devastating for midterms. Understand, midterms are still very important. That's why, it's a complete side note, but that's why Turning Point USA has to get their act together. They have to have that meeting. Midterms are very important. Turning Point USA is very, what's the right word? Influential in the government. So they have to get their act together for midterms. Stop fighting each other. Stop looking at the Jews so much. Focus on what's going on here. Really quickly, the liberals are attacking. But I really hope it doesn't happen because it is not going to look good. At the same time, I got into a minor debate, really unexpected, with a black lady. And she was like, it's all the Republicans' fault for the shutdown. And then I asked her, how many Republicans voted to reopen the government? She didn't know. I said, well, it was this number. And I asked, how many Democrats voted to keep the government shut down? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, it was this number. And I said, how many independents voted to open or keep the government closed? She said, I don't know. I said, well, all the independents, which was like maybe two, all the independents voted to open the government. And I said, so who do you think is really at fault for keeping the government closed? She said, well, it's still the Republicans because they have this edge. And I'm like, no. When the government is closed, nothing can help. It's closed. The government is closed. Understand what that means. And the party who's voting to open it is the right party. The party who's voting to keep it closed is the wrong party. Because when the government is not in operation, guess what? The country is not really in operation. Everything's paused. Not good when things are paused. Money always flows. When money stops, that's not good. And so she said, well, I still think it's the Republic. I said, well, okay, yeah, I get that. You're ignorant, very much so. I can tell. But Tyler, what do you think on the previous government shutdown and potential thoughts on a future one? Hopefully, God forbid, it doesn't happen though.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. So many people working without pay, especially air traffic control, which is very important. I mean, we saw what the airports looked like. I mean, no one could fly. The security lines were hours long. People like literally out the door on some airports. It was terrible. You don't hold the government like hostage just to get what you want. It's more important to keep the government open so that funding keeps going on through the military and through everyone. No one has to get laid off. I mean, a lot of people got laid off. I mean, completely fired. They never even came back. Yeah, it's terrible. It shouldn't have happened. And the fact that they're just holding the government accountable for it, and I don't know how many votes happened to reopen it. I mean, it was a lot.
Multiple.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And every single time they voted no. I just don't understand why they would do that. Obviously, I get that they want to get the health care. That's what that's what their goal was. But you don't just sit there and you don't vote no. You keep the government open and then you keep discussing how to fix the problem. You don't close the government and then discuss how to fix the problem. You don't make two wrongs.
It was so petty.
Yeah.
It's literal children. The Democratic Party, I say, if the far left are very, very evil, genuinely demonic spirits, and the closer left, just children, saying, well, if you don't want us to be in charge of anything, then we're going to make sure the government is closed so nobody's in charge of anything. Fair election. Trump was actually elected very favorably.
He won all the swing states.
Exactly. The popular vote, the young vote, everything. And it's so petty. Literal children saying, well, guess what? We're going to keep it closed if we're not going to be in charge. Oh my goodness. I think they should all just be put into to a mental asylum or a daycare at that point. They should go to Quality Learning Center, really, in Minnesota. We should not... It's very, it's kind of like too bad to be true when you think about that side, that they are actually having an influence on the country, very, very bad. I can't believe that they're even allowed to. There should be like an IQ test, honestly, to be a part of government.
There's speculation. I wanted to ask you this, that they were trying to get benefits for illegal aliens, which there was a lot of Democrats who, when asked, they slipped up and they actually said, "Yeah, we want that."
Yeah.
That's in the, like, it was already proven to be in the papers. But like, what do you think about that?
Well, that shows you their intentions. They want to ruin the country, and they don't want anything to be passed if they don't have a little bit say on what they want. If they don't have a little bit of what they want in there, I'm really glad that the administration kind of was holding strong. Honestly, I don't know what made the 5 Democrats who voted to reopen the government do it. I don't know why.
They got so much hate. They got so much hate just for doing it, just for wanting to keep the government open.
Maybe they were found in the Epstein files and they used that as like a, hey, you better open the government. But who knows? But it's very sad. Guess what? When the government is shut down, both sides don't get a chance to grow. When the government's open, it's fair growth, fair, and it's so childish. But at the same time, I honestly still think nothing that the Democrats put out should be accepted, because there's always that little something in the background that is meant to cause more destruction to the country, more funding for cartels in another country, more funding for illegal immigrants, housing, and it's, guess what? It is all taxpayers. I personally don't want my taxes going to any illegal immigrants. I'm 100% Hispanic, and my parents are immigrants, legal. So it's not fair if they come in just walking along.
Exactly.
By the way, the country offers asylum to people seeking help from the cartels. There is that there, but they don't want to, accept. They don't want to come in the right way. They're not really taught. But when the Democrat comes out and say, "Hey, just walk in. Nothing bad will happen to you," it's lamb to the slaughter. And guess what? The Democrats are the butchers. And they also wanted them for their votes. Also.
The fact that they were paying for hotels, too, for illegal aliens to stay in while Biden was president, it's terrible. That was just awful.
But no, let's still vote for them, right? I'm sure they'll change. Yeah, that's what she said, but he remains toxic. And I wonder who the 2028 candidate will be. Do you think it'll be...
I think it's going to be J.D. Vance, just because...
for the Democrats.
Oh, for the Democrats.
I think it's AOC or Gavin Newsom.
Oh, God.
AOC is very emotional.
Can you imagine
very emotional. No, that would be so bad.
Can you imagine the U.S. being like an L.A. everywhere?
Oh, my God.
California everywhere?
It'd be the poop country. It'd be India. We'd have that tradition where we all throw poop at each other. That's what I was going to be if Newsom is elected.
That's terrible.
I really don't think that they'll win, but we cannot underestimate the enemy. Gavin Newsom as president would be unbelievable.
It'd be terrible.
Yeah, poop chart right here. Oh, I wonder if I'll remember to do that.
Please do that.
I look so weird if I do that.
Because if I tell someone, like, hey, you got to watch this podcast, I need them to see the poop chart.
The poop chart. Yeah, we have to do it. Oh, that's going to be so good. But yeah, no, hopefully it doesn't shut down again, because that would be very devastating. Yeah. But any final thoughts?
Just like over everything we talked about?
Yeah. Anything, okay. The last topic?
There's a few little things I want to talk about. Just things like quick little talkabouts that have been brought up in the past year with Trump being president. One being the boats that have constantly been trying to come into the country illegally with fentanyl and, I don't know, possibly other drugs. And we have killed them every single time. Like every single time we see a boat strike. You know what I mean? And everyone calls that unconstitutional. Right. But personally, I believe, which fentanyl is now a weapon of mass destruction, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right? Didn't Trump pass that? Yeah, it is. I mean, it can kill so many people. People overdose on it all the time. And it's the fact that they're sitting there and saying, yeah, let them come in. The left is saying, yeah, let them come in. Let them come in illegally with drugs. Why? I don't know. I will never see in the brain of someone on the left. So I personally think that definitely those boats should have been stopped and should not have been left in the country. And for anyone who thinks that they should have, yeah, you're stupid.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's clip.
Yeah.
Their reasoning for it is The lives on the boat is far less than the amount of lives that all those drugs could have killed in the
Exactly.
United States. And I think that is a
Exactly.
very good way of thinking about it. And the only thing is that I'll say about what they did is that those fishes are going to have a crazy time. Those fishes, oh, with all those drugs, there's some fish now on their couch just watching a movie or watching the screen, and it's like that shattering whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like the static, those fishes are
They're having a great time.
they're having a great time.
They're having a great time.
Yeah, but no, I think it is very good. We can there has to be no toleration to any of that. No toleration.
And for anyone who's actually sitting back, I know I've said this like 100 times, but anyone actually sitting back and thinking that you should be allowed to come in the country, especially with drugs illegally, you're wrong. It's just terrible that you actually think that. That's all I have to say. I just had to say it one more time.
Good.
One more time.
Clipped. But okay. Well, other than that, all the topics we touched on are very important. No matter the dates that they took place, because some of them were all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
But all these were very important to understand.
There was some stuff I wanted to talk about here. So I know I said that ICE officers jumped 1,000% with being attacked, assaults against ICE officers. So I wanted to give some examples so that I'm not just like saying this and it's not true. So I have here 29-year-old Joshua John sprayed bullets at an immigration facility in Dallas targeting ICE agents, but instead killing 2 migrants on track for deportation. So this terrible person, who obviously was on the left, he had anti-ICE bullets carved, I don't think carved, but written on the bullets that said anti-ICE. And then after this incident, he shot himself. And I just can't believe that he would do that, because you're literally doing that because you hate ICE, and then in return you literally kill someone that you're trying to protect, and then you just kill yourself. Why?
Like, it's also a very coward way of going. Yeah. Not facing the punishment for what you've done. But no, that is devastating.
So yeah, obviously the photo will come up, but and then I have another thing. I have so many different stories of people attacking either Border Patrol or ICE agents. So according to this article, which was from last year in October, it says that there were ICE agents who were in Illinois, and there was a group of officers who were violently attacked by protesters and a mob that came up to them. And I guess there was an armed woman who was then later shot because, I mean, obviously she's armed and she's going after these agents. And then people would sit there and say that what he did was wrong, but you can't take the precaution of her pulling out this weapon, using it against them. Like, personally, if I'm an officer and I go up to someone and I see that they have a weapon, I'm not just gonna let them possibly shoot me. Like, if they put their hand in a jacket, as soon as I see their arm even leave an inch towards the, taking their arm out of the jacket, I'm gonna shoot them. I don't want to die because I'm innocent. That person is clearly not. That person has the intention of wanting to kill me. So obviously a very bad person, I'm gonna shoot him. The same way that obviously it wasn't a weapon, it was a car, when Renee Good was driving towards him and hit him. Yeah, I mean, come on. It was just kind of like a what's it called, automatic response to the situation. No, yeah, there's some people who argue saying that he could have just jumped to the side or whatever, but you have to understand, he's in a high intense situation. When you're in these situations, you don't know what's going through these people's minds. It's very quick. You just think quick. And for him to pull out his gun and shoot her, I mean, you shouldn't have rammed him with your car. It shouldn't have happened. So yeah, I just think that's bad. And there's a lot more stories on protesters, for example, just attacking people for no reason.
And I do think that there is going to be a lot more in the future that are going to be coming out of nowhere of these attacks going on. And none of it's good. Again, like we said in the beginning, death isn't good. but you do have to defend yourself, whether you are a federal agent or you're just a private citizen.
There's too many cases of police officers who have sat there holding their gun out on someone saying, like, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, and then they end up either heading them or even shooting them. There's actually one case that I was looking at. Two police officers were holding their gun out on a white SUV, and the SUV reversed back and went straight at an officer and hit him. Now, if they would have shot her in the first place, which they end up killing her later, if they would have just shot her in the first place, he never would have gotten hit by that car. So, for example, it should be acted upon right away. As soon as she hit that gas, boom. Because you cannot take any precautions. And for example, even the ICE agent who shot Renee Good isn't facing any charges for killing her. Nothing's going to happen to him. And another thing is did you see that he actually suffered an injury from being hit by the car?
I didn't see that, no.
Yeah, this was yesterday. Got revealed yesterday. CBS News and a few other news networks revealed that he actually went to the hospital and he suffered something. I don't know what it was, but he actually did hurt himself. I think it was internal bleeding.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
What you see on a video could be a lot like less impactful than how it actually was.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you take a picture of a view, it's much like on a mountain, it's far deeper, that trench, that ravine.
Well, he's already been hit before too.
Really?
Yeah, so 6 months prior, he was actually hit by a car, and no one talked about it. No one talked about the disgusting person who decided to drive into him 6 months ago. And yeah, there's a picture of him in the hospital with I think it was 32 stitches in his leg. Really bad injury. So for him to be a little scared, being run over again,
Yeah, I definitely Yeah, that part. No, it all was like a flashback to him. He said it ain't happening again. So you had to defend yourself. And
here's a story I completely forgot. This will be a good thing to talk about, and it's the hypocritical left, is what I like to call them. It's when they protest and they riot for George Floyd. They protest over Renee Good, but no one talks about the people who actually should be talked about, which are the young women who are being raped and murdered by illegal immigrants. So I have a whole bunch of names. I'm not going to read them all, but there was one case that was terrible. It was a black woman. She was 19. I wish I had her name. Oh, I do. Dakara Thompson. That was her name. Okay, she was 19 years old, and she was brutally raped, murdered, and thrown off a bridge by an illegal. No one talks about it. She was black. So why are they talking about George Floyd and saying BLM over George Floyd, but why are they not saying anything about her? It makes no sense. It's because they used it for a political gain. They saw a white man kill a black man, and they said, that's racist, that is terrible, BLM, protest, riot. But then they see this, they don't know what to protest because there is no race card being pulled here. It was just simply a murder, and now no one cares, which they should. Because this murder, if anything, was way worse than George Floyd, because George Floyd was a bad person, while this girl was an innocent 19-year-old girl who's probably fresh out of high school, didn't deserve to die. It's terrible.
And there are so many cases just that, and there shouldn't be any cases like that.
The Lake and Riley Act?
Yeah. And it's very, very unfortunate because I keep bringing this back up, but if the rise of Islam continues, that is going to be just like an everyday thing, and it's going to be devastating. So, I mean, I do really hope that stuff doesn't happen again. I mean, hopefully the administration does really. They have been cracking down.
What I'm scared of is what if a Democrat wins in 2028? Let everyone back into the country. What's going to happen? They're going to start defunding ICE.
Well, Poland is going to be a much more populated country. I'm going to be happy to check out Poland for 4 years. And
all the people leaving because they don't like Trump. If a Democrat comes in and lets illegal people in, that's a real reason to leave.
Yeah.
I'd probably leave.
I
Because
don't want to.
what if I'm stationed, right? I'm going into the military. What if I'm stationed in New Mexico? What if I'm stationed in Texas, right next to the border? I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there, especially, because I have a girlfriend. I don't want anything to happen to her. So no, I'd leave.
I do think Poland's going to be a really nice country to move to.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
Maybe Italy.
Oh, Italy. Some nice.
Italy.
Italiano, Parmigiano. Okay.
I mean,
But
there's a few other good countries I'd consider.
yeah, there's a lot of people want to go to Japan a little bit.
I would love Japan.
Like, that'd be cool, but
it'd just be hard to, I guess,
I couldn't
learn their language.
Yeah, I can't really assimilate in Japan. And
It'd be more like a vacation. I'd want to go to a vacation. I don't know if I'd want to live there.
Yeah, not Britain. Maybe Ireland. That'd be interesting.
I think I'd want to go somewhere where they speak English.
I think Poland is good with English. They have like these other little languages there, but I think a lot of English because the Poland president speaks English real well.
Or hear me out. I know this is in the U.S. I'm not stupid. Hawaii, because it's an island, so then no one can just walk into it.
Maybe, but you gotta also understand the hurricanes, the floods. Isn't there like a volcano there too?
Yeah, that might not be good.
It might not be good.
It might not be good.
Listen, if the wrong people win 2028, a volcano's gonna erupt. Yeah. So I don't want to be around when that happens. But you know what? Poland, if they continue, Poland's gonna be so good.
I just wish that the media showed both sides because the media is so heavily like on the left. Everyone that is on like TikTok, Instagram, all they get fed with so much just crap.
And you know what? To be fair, it's like either or, depending on what you watch. Say CNN, very left.
Yeah.
Fox News, it can be very right. What's in the middle? You know what's in the middle? Those private podcasts. This is just regular people talking about what's going on and their thoughts. Very, very neutral, very understanding, just evidence, boom, boom, boom. Those people. And that's why podcasts are going crazy now. It's because it's not left, it's not right, it's what's going on.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's very valuable. Hey, this is what's going on. No, this is far right.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because it's better to listen to an actual citizen, like someone who's like living a daily life or whatever, and not to listen to a news network who is obviously being paid for whatever side they're leaning on. Like Fox News is obviously funded probably by Republicans, and same with CNN is probably funded by Democrats. So you got to listen to like the people. You got to listen to proof too, like videos, proof. You can't just go off of someone's word on a news network.
Yeah. At the same time, I mean, what do you expect to get from them? It is with an open mind, it is good to watch them to see what they're talking about.
It's also good to watch both.
Exactly.
Like if you're a Republican, watch Fox News and CNN News. Just watch both. You know what I mean?
Watch everything.
Watch everything. Get your own opinion. Don't let them, I don't know the word. I'm losing my words.
Maybe in
kind of like infect you with their beliefs. Don't let them do that. Make your own opinions. Watch the videos. Don't sit there and listen to people and say, "Oh, the Renee Good situation was terrible," or "Oh, it should have happened." Watch the video. Look at it. Watch it. I mean, there's 2 videos. You can see it, and if you slow it down and just watch it, you can. You know what I mean?
God gave us a moral mind. We should really use that with an open one. So, without further ado, I mean, those were the very important topics that we touched on. I mean, more stuff will come about it, and I'm sure we'll do another one of these to talk about additional information. Look out for any Sermon Saturdays. Look out for any tabling events. Very important to keep aware of that. If you want to be involved in any type of leadership, such as going to the colleges and maybe hitting more colleges to be behind the table and spreading the gospel and open debate, it is very important that you reach out and that you become one of the leaders. More stuff politically will be put out on that. We'd also do tabling events for that separately, but kind of like sold separately. But it's still very important to be a leader, especially since my audience is the youth. The youth is very important to understand that they are quite literally, even though it's a little cliche, they are quite literally the future of America, and we need a strong youth for a strong future. But Tyler, is there any last thoughts you would like to give?
I mean, I guess one thing, yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. The youth is very important. And I believe that everyone should be involved in some way politically. You don't have to be like us, like on a podcast talking about politics, but at least know what's going on in the world. That's important. You can't, especially can't go vote if you don't know what's happening. That's another thing. A lot of people who are now turning 18 who are going to be able to vote, they need to know what's going on. You should be voting. Voting is very important. So you should be doing your own research. And like I said, don't listen to one news network. Watch everything. Make your own opinion. I think that's very important. So, yeah.
Well, without further ado, Tyler, thank you so much for coming and joining me on this podcast. And everyone, watch out for future videos. There are going to be more to come. A tabling event is posted now, actually. So go and check that out. Without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Chart and the transfer. That would be funny. Oh, I'll write that down.